All right, this is an interesting one. So, 258 Management released a very short but somewhat revealing tweet today. Now, 258 Management is the managerial company headed by Anthony Joshua. They went onto social media and they said the following evening at Queensbury. Obviously, Queensbury are Frank Warren's promotional company, the stable of fighters. Queensbury promote Daniel Dubois, who was taking on Anthony Joshua, defending his IBF title, his IBF World Heavyweight title, on September the 21st in Wembley Stadium. It says here, and I follow, evening at Queensbury. Any update on why at Dynamite Dubois isn't signed up for at Vada testing yet? So they're saying that Daniel Dubois isn't signed up for Vada testing yet. Now, no sooner has this tweet gone out that immediately people are calling Daniel Dubois a cheat. Alright, well, he's not signed up. We've no evidence that he's done anything untoward. It's really remarkable to me how a tweet like that, you have all these people who are instantly, oh, he's a cheat. You're like, okay, hold up a sec. Hang on a minute, right? We don't know the ins and outs. Now, is VADA testing agreed? Was it agreed when this fight was being signed? If it was, you do. And what I will say, I'm not saying that Daniel Dubois, look, when it comes to PEDs, drugs and boxing, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think it's absolutely rampant in the sport of boxing. I think that we probably haven't even scratched the surface. We are seeing people get caught now, but we haven't even scratched the surface. And as well as that, when we do see people get caught, I mean, like you look at Ryan Garcia, I mean, that's a joke. You look at Martinez, Julio Cesar Martinez. Where's the punishment? There isn't any. A year for Garcia, and what is it, 8 months for Martinez? I mean, what is that? That's nothing. You have fighters who could go a year and they could plan their career. Well, this year I'm only going to have one fight. Next year I'm going to, that sort of way. So it's nothing. Just because someone hasn't necessarily signed up doesn't mean it's not a smoking gun. However, what I will say, in the past, when there have been people who have not signed up for VADA and stuff like that, well, a best example I would give is the WBC. I don't know if they still do it. They must. They did in 2016 this whole, it was brilliant, this deal with VADA where they're doing the WBC's clean boxing program. And essentially, in order to get in the top 15 of the WBC, in order to be ranked by the WBC, you had to be enrolled in VADA testing, which is random drug testing, 24/7, 365. They could turn up at your doorstep anytime. A fighter who at the time was ranked by the WBC, because they ranked by VADA, he probably is ranked by VADA to be honest with you at this point, was Jarrell Big Farmer Miller. Now, if you remember, he was removed from the WBC rankings. He would have been reinstated had he signed up for VADA testing. Well, he didn't, and, well, shock horror, there you go. I mean, we don't call him Big Farmer for no reason. I remember when Kell Brook moved up to 154 pounds. Who did he fight in his 54-pound debut? I can't remember now. Yeah, I can't remember who he fought in his debut. It was that long ago. But he picked up a WBC silver title. He didn't sign up for VADA, drug testing or anything like that. Is that a smoking gun with Kell Brook? I'm just going to say it there. It's not necessarily a smoking gun, but if this was signed, if this was on the table when both parties were coming to an arrangement, when this was signed up, when they both signed the contract, if this was to be part of it, and Dubois hasn't made himself available and hasn't signed up to VADA testing, you definitely have to raise an eyebrow. And yeah, listen, when you look at fighters and you see where they were, say, 12 months ago to where they are now, and some of the shots they weren't taking 12 months ago to some of the shots they are now, and some of the performances they had now, it could genuinely be that maybe they're taking their career a bit more serious, that they feel it's last ditch saloon, or whatever you want to call it, last attempt at getting glory, and they can really get that extra motivation, they can go for it. Whereas others, stuff happens. Remember Alexander Povetkin when he fought the likes of Marco Huck. Marco Huck came up from cruiserweight and went back down to cruiserweight. A lot of people felt that he won the fight. When he fought Ruslan Shagayev, he was gassing pretty bad. I recall Teddy Atlas, who used to train Povetkin, saying that he was really a 6-round fighter. Because Povetkin was known back then, way back then, 2010, 2012s, early 2010s, early 2012s, for not having the best stamina. He went in there against Klitschko in 2013 and he lost, but he took everything Klitschko could give him. He was leaned on incessantly for 12 rounds. I mean, it was ridiculous. And from then on, he went on a tear where he was hitting harder, he had better stamina, he had better everything. And then he got popped twice in 2016. The first was for Meldonium, the second was for Osterine. The first was in May, ended up to the Wilder fight. The second one was in the fight he was going to have with Bermain Stavern in December of 2016. He ended up fighting Johan Dubois. And if you've ever seen Povetkin aesthetically in that fight, I mean, Jesus Christ, I've never seen him look so buff as he did in that fight where he got popped for Osterine. Fast forward, he fought in July 2017 against Rudenko. Well, he did not look near as ripped as he did against Johan Dubois, and he wasn't hitting as hard, noticeably, in that fight. So you do have to look at these things and say, okay, performances look really, really, really good, and then all of a sudden you either popped or, you know, something changed, you signed up for Vada testing, and then you didn't quite look as good. Coincidence? Let's wait and see. It is interesting, this one right here. Daniel Dubois hasn't signed up or isn't signed up for Vada yet. Expect to see a tweet or a response from Queensberry stating that he is. In fact, they might have already done it by the time this video goes out, but it is quite an interesting one. Team Joshua 258 management making people aware that Dubois, as of right now, and it's 10:15 in the evening on a Tuesday night, Dubois hasn't signed up for Vada testing. Again, is that part of the contract? Is he contractually obliged to? I don't know. If it was agreed in principle before the fight, before the contract was signed, I should say. Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not just going to jump the gun and say Dubois is doing this or he's doing that. At the end of the day, I've said it once, I say it again, I think PEDs are rampant in the sport of boxing. They really are. It's just a case of who's probably dumb enough to get caught, really, at this stage, it seems. Yeah, it's one to think about. It's an interesting one to think about. I'm not going to go on too much about this, but let me know your thoughts. Does that make you raise an eyebrow? And does that make you look at Dubois' last two performances, in particular the Hrgovic fight, where he took plenty of big shots from Filip Hrgovic? Bear in mind, he was getting dropped by Kevin Lorena not even 2 years ago. Does that make you stop and think, hang on a minute, something's not right here? Or do you think do you think maybe it could just be an error on Team Dubois' behalf, like a little nothing error? Oh, they forgot to sign up, you know, it was put on the back burner. There you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed the video, people. Smash the like button if you could, hit subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. Peace.